Is this thing on? Hello? Oh my goodness. It has been so long since I've done anything on either one of my channels. So I'm gonna start off with a life update. I finally finished my web design course. So I have my certification in that, so I am looking for different jobs. Different freelance opportunities, so that I am able to finally have weekends off so I can do nothing but watch football and be with y'all and react to some of these games. So that's pretty much the life update at this point. I am ready for the college football season. I am ready for the NFL season. I only got one TV, so I was thinking of doing something different because there were so many games on Saturday that majority of the games I watched were on my phone at work. But man, week one was, I have some thoughts about, I hope the mic isn't. I have some thoughts about the running clock. But you know what? Hit my intro. We're gonna get right into it. Let's get it. Week one reactions. I'm going to be reacting to all the games that I personally watched, not the games that y'all saw. The ones that I personally watched. So let's get it. Hit my intro. Let's get it.
Third down, Morris. Intercepted. Wow! Travis Hunter.
And the intro. First game that I saw, that I was actually able to sit down and rewatch and watch. Probably the biggest game of the day. Man, it has been so much good football on that I just have sitting in my DVR. But this was the first game that I was able to actually sit down and watch. Colorado and TCU. Man, but before we even begin, I just want to let y'all know, a lot of people, even as many as high talented players TCU lost, a lot of people had TCU winning this game by 20, 30, 40 points. A lot of people had TCU absolutely blowing the doors off of Colorado. A lot of people had Colorado losing this game by like 20 plus points. A lot of people in the media, a lot of fans on Twitter, damn near everybody had Colorado losing this game, except the people in that Colorado Buffalo locker room. Except them. But this just goes to show you, each season is different. Each season is different. Me personally, I had TCU winning this game. I thought they were going to win by at least 14. I did not come into the fact that TCU lost a lot, including their offensive coordinator, and that they would not hold in on their strength on offense until it kind of clicked for them that, oh, we need to do this. And I'm gonna get into that later. So these are just some of the notes that I took while watching this game. Like I said, I only have one TV. I do not have everybody set up where they have like 4 TVs and they can watch multiple games and taking notes. No, we're going one game by one. All right. So this game was on Fox. Hey, a lot of people don't like it. I like the new scoreboard. I like the new scoreboard. I think it's fire. Commentary wise, I kind of honestly expected Joe Clapp to be clapping and cheering the whole game because it is his alma mater. But he was a consummate professional. Gus Johnson, on the other hand, you could tell who he was rooting for. You could tell who he was rooting for. And like I said, I'm not mad at it, but brother, my brother, Gus Johnson, you got to be a professional, bro. You can't be acting. You can't be showing your hand like that, which is why I'm on YouTube. But like I said early, I knew TCU was in for a fight early because Colorado set the tone with a good defensive stop early. Then they scored a touchdown on their opening drive. And that should let you know that, oh, this game might be something different. And I knew Sean Lewis, the former coach at Kent State, was an up-tempo offense. I didn't know he was this up-tempo. They were moving at supersonic speed their first couple of drives. Then TCU responded back with a good drive, getting all the way into the end zone, and then they threw a pick. I believe one of the only remaining players from last year's Colorado's team that went 1-11. It was getting smacked around each week by like an average of 30 intercepted pass in the end zone. That should have let you know that something was wrong with this game immediately. That this was not the Colorado that was just going to lie down and take an ass whooping. All right? I mean, that this TCU team was different. But it was like something I noticed early on while watching this game, that Colorado knew their O-line isn't the best. They knew this early on. They were having Shedeur throwing a lot of quick passes, having the running backs and tight ends stay in to help Chip. And they ran when there was a light box, and even then they weren't getting a lot of yards. So they knew their offensive line wasn't good. But you can scheme around a bad offense. You can coach around a bad offensive line. You can play call around a bad offensive line. And that's why I love this game plan that they came into this game with. Quick, easy passes. Get the ball out of Shedeur's hands. Have him be the offense. Have him make the throws. Throw deep when you can. And I just want to say, before I get any deeper, I knew Shedeur was good. But what he played this past Saturday was the best I've ever seen him. He was decisive with the ball. He was accurate. He was so accurate with the ball. He did not put the ball in harm's way. He took sacks when he needed to take them instead of trying to force anything. Only thing I wished he would have done was probably throw the ball out of bounds a little bit. But other than that, he played a brilliant game. And it could have been worse because his receivers was dropping dimes. It could have been worse for TCU. Because that first half, Colorado, honestly, Colorado should have put up like 28, 30 points. If we're being completely honest. Travis Hunter. Dog. He is a dog. When you talk about dogs, that is him. My only question is, can he keep this up for 12 plus games? And you know you have USC, Oregon, and Utah on this schedule. Can he keep this up for a full 12 games? I personally believe he probably can't, because this is a tall task, because he has to play defense. He has to play at corner, because he balled out at corner. They tested him a lot. He only gave up one catch, and he had a pick. Could have had like 2 or 3 more picks, but he balled out at corner. At receiver, he could have had at least like 200 yards. Easily could have had 200 yards and probably another touchdown. But you can tell the potential for him is there to skyrocket. The potential is there for Travis Hunter. Now, my only question is that strength and conditioning room going to keep him from getting fatigue or leg injuries later on in this season as we get on? Because next week when Nebraska comes to town is going to be interesting. Because what I saw out of Nebraska, the stuff I could watch at work, the little I could watch, was not good on offense. They should have blown the doors off Minnesota. Their Nebraska defense was phenomenal. Nebraska defense was good. They were physical. But what the hell was Jeff Sims doing? 3 picks, my dude, 3. And then on top of that, you threw 2 of them at the absolute worst time. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna rant about Nebraska later. Like I said, I watched a little bit of that game at work, and boy, yeah, that was ugly. But back to Colorado and TCU. Like I said, I really love this game plan that Deion and Sean Lewis put together for this team, and that Colorado did not beat themselves. That was probably the most important part of this game. They did not beat themselves. Now, they did have a couple of turnovers, a couple of penalties, but for the most part, they played a clean, efficient game. Now, let's go to TCU. I don't know what happened this offseason, but Chandler Morris should not be the focal point of that offense. Now, I understand they're running the Kendall Browse, they're running the Art Browse air raid system where guys are schemed butt naked open, and the quarterback should be able to make those throws, make those reads. But when they ran the ball, they are a much better team than letting Chandler Morris sit back there and try to pick apart a defense. When they realized they could just run the ball at will, that's when their offense really started getting in rhythm and started getting explosive. TCU should stick with running the ball. Trey Sanders is a monster. But that's the one thing I worry about with Colorado this season. Are they going to be able to stop the run? Because that Utah game is going to be scary. Oregon game is going to be scary. USC, hey, you might as well just set the under for that game at 80. Those defenses are not going to be able to stop anything in that game. I'm telling you this right now. But like I said, TCU, once they realized they could run the ball at will, really started implementing what they wanted to do on offense. They probably should have started running the ball from the get-go, because Trey Sanders and their other running back could not be stopped. Could not be stopped at all. But I really feel like if TCU had focused more on the running game, especially late in the game, they probably could have won this game. But then they started getting down and wanted to throw the ball, and that's, at this point in the season, that's not their strength. Their strength is mashing away at people, pounding the football. We're going to get in this shotgun and dare you to stop us from running this ball. Dare us to stop this read option. Dare you to stop this QB power. Dare you to stop Trey Sanders. TCU could run at will, and it felt like they took the ball out of their running back's hands and into Chandler Morris, to where things are not as cohesive at this point. But overall, this game was a classic shootout. I loved every second of it, just as a pure football fan. And it was basically came down to what defense could get the stop they needed to. And suffice to say, Colorado got the one stop they needed to. But next week in Boulder for Nebraska is going to be rocking, because not only is this a rejuvenated fan base in Boulder, this is a rivalry game. Nebraska and Colorado are rivals. This game is going to be nuts.
Now we'll stretch out farther to the bottom. McCord going down the seams, got his tight end on the run. Stover still going all the way to the 25-yard line. Another good throw.
I just went off to a tangent. My bad. I'll probably edit that out. But I just went on a tangent. I didn't know what to expect offensively, but defensively, one of the positives I could say about this Ohio State-Indiana game was that, yes, it's Indiana. Okay, they are not the world beaters in the Big Ten. They're not even the average upsets in the Big Ten, like Purdue, Iowa, Maryland. They are towards the bottom of the Big Ten. Let's be real. They are towards the bottom. I liked what I saw out of our defense. Our corners, when got tested, they were able to actually be there in coverage, because we have issues with them not even being on the screen in coverage. Our D-line was getting pressure, our interior D-line. I'm worried about our defensive ends. But I won't really know about our passing defense until we play Western Kentucky. Because Western Kentucky is going to throw that football. Western Kentucky is going to throw that peel. Okay? They're going to throw that football all around over the field. So I don't know then about our passing defense. Okay? I don't know then. So there wasn't really too much for me to say about the defense because, like I said, who saw Indiana running the spread triple option? How many people can tell me that an Indiana team that usually does air raid was going to come out there for damn near the entire first half and start running spread triple option? Who saw that coming? Were we expected to play Navy? No. We had no ways of knowing that Indiana was going to be running spread triple option and milk the clock. Who saw that coming? But as okay as our defense played, I'm giving them probably like a A-, B. They played well. It's the offense I'm worried about because all offseason we have hoped and prayed that Jesus, that Ryan Day would finally be aggressive in his play calling and we would stick to what we know, and that is lining up in shotgun and throwing it all over the damn field because nobody else in the Big Ten can cover our receivers. That was the game plan. That is our identity as an Ohio State football team lately. We line up a shotgun, we throw the ball and run in light boxes when we can, maybe hit the tight end up a seam when possible. It felt like I went into a time machine and rewinded back to the Vest era with Jim Tressel. We were under the center a lot, running stretch, running dives, running ISO, halfback blast, and then doing play action off of that. Now, granted, it still worked because we scored 23 points, but it didn't look like we were in rhythm. It didn't look like a cohesive offense. We looked disjointed. Matter of fact, our two best receivers only had 5 catches total. Total. No, I just thought that Indiana was bracketing both receivers and was like, listen, you got somebody else is gonna have to beat us. But at some point, you have to get those two involved. At some point, did we even run a bubble screen to them? A slant route, drag, in, zig, out route? None? Okay, but I tell you what we did ran. A seam to Cade Stover. It felt like Cade Stover and Fleming were catching every available pass which way. And I don't know if that was because McCord was getting the ball out of his hand or if he didn't see the field to where Marvin and Igbuka was. But it just felt disjointed. And I'm not going to lie. If we're going to be going back to the best era offense, we got to at least be able to run the ball. I cannot tell you how many times we ran a stretch play to the boundary that wasn't telegraphed. Because usually if we only under the center, we're running the ball. And that is a tendency that Ryan Day has to break. Like, stop running the stretch play. Run between the tackles. Let your running backs do what they do. Let your offensive line attack people up the field. But to me, it really felt like Chip Trayanum was our best running back. And I don't know how that happened. I really don't, because I really felt like Trey Henderson was our best running back. Not on Saturday. It felt like Chip Trayanum was our best running back. He was seeing the holes. He was hitting the holes, breaking arm tackles. It felt like Chip Trayanum was our best running back, and you could not have told me that before this season started. So we have a lot of work to do on this offensive front. Whether it's game planning, trying to figure out what we are identifying as an offense, getting Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka actually involved in the offense. But also I feel like Ryan Day has to give a play call. He has to. I don't care if Brian Hartline takes his lumps as play callers, and if we pass the ball 60 times a game, because we have the weapons to do that. Because I could not tell you how many times I sat there and watched us line up under center and run a stretch play that went nowhere. When, like I said earlier, it's telegraphed. When are we going to line up a shotgun and run an inside zone? When are we going to line up a shotgun and run a power? Line up a shotgun and run a read option. Run the ball out of different formations so that teams cannot just, so that defensive coordinators in the Big Ten cannot just go, hey, they're in this formation, they're running this ball, they have a tendency to run this ball. Attack, 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 attack. Now, like I said, the offense just felt disjointed. Now, hopefully that means that next week we're going to go out and score 50 against Youngstown State, I believe. The Trestle Bowl, as I'm calling it. Overall, I want to see improvement from this offense because Notre Dame is in 3 weeks. They seem to have a different energy about them. They actually have a quarterback this year. Notre Dame is going to be a problem. And if we play like we did Saturday for Ohio State, we're losing that game. We are going to lose that game. And I'll be damned if a team I root for loses to Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame has not beaten Ohio State since the fucking 30s. So whatever kinks we have in this offensive system, figure it out. Figure it out by the Ohio State game. Also, another thing. They said that this was going to be a competition for the starting quarterback, right? For Ohio State. Devin Brown barely played. And when he did, it was so out of rhythm, it didn't even matter. So I couldn't even tell you who's the better quarterback because I thought they were just going to rotate halves. We see one with the starters, we see another one with the starters in the second half. No, Ryan Day's actions showed everybody that Kyle McCord is the starter and that Devin Brown is the backup. And I wish he would have just told us that instead of having us figured out Sunday. Unless the game plan is going to be, we're starting Devin Brown versus Youngstown State. And then that's going to be, well, why didn't you start him against Indiana in the second half? So we can see what we have in him. Yeah. Enough of me rants about Ohio State. Let's move on to the next game.
Expected to be stars as they were as freshmen. Running behind a great offensive line. First down throw for Aller. Steps up in the pocket. Fires on the run. Keandre Lambert-Smith is gone. Welcome to the Drew Aller era.
I'm probably going to watch now, and I will get back to y'all when I'm done. But I'm going to be rewatching this Penn State-West Virginia game. I was seeing clips of it while at work, and from what I've seen, Drew Aller looks like he's the goods. He looks like he's the goods. Their running backs, Nick Singleton and the other one, look like they're amazing again for another year. My homeboy, who's a huge Penn State fan, is telling me that this is their year and they're finally gonna beat Ohio State and Michigan in 1 year. He's over the moon. He's over the moon for Penn State to finally be like, this is our year. So I'm going to rewatch this game, Penn State and West Virginia on NBC. But I did see the score, and I do have a question. How fast is West Virginia packing up Neil Brown's office? Like I said, I'm going to watch this game for myself, and I will get back to you all when I'm done. Okay, so pretty much what I saw, like the little clips that I seen on Twitter, and a little bit I was able to actually watch regarding Penn State and West Virginia was pretty much the whole story. Yeah, Penn State looks good, and this was Drew Aller's first start. He threw 3 tutties. I believe he threw around 300. He had a great game. Yeah, and like I said, this was his first start, and we haven't even hit conference play yet. Drew Aller is going to be something, and like I said, them running backs for Penn State, nasty. Yeah, Penn State is going to be a problem for my Buckeyes. Like I said, I won't really know what Ohio State's season is going to be until we play Notre Dame. Like, yesterday looked bad, but also nobody expected Indiana to be running a triple option and draining the clock out. So I expect us to fix our kinks these next 2 weeks before we play Notre Dame. But yeah, Penn State and Michigan did look a lot better than Ohio State did. Offensively, they looked like they had some sense of cohesiveness. And I would say the best team was Penn State because they played a legit team. They played a decent opponent in West Virginia. The Big Ten is going to be fun this year. It's going to be even more fun next year when USC and them all come in. But yeah, now I believe Florida State and LSU is going to be playing.
And they get the first.
Travis has been dialed in on third down tonight. There's a slant on first down. Catch made by Coleman. Ding on Coleman, his first touchdown as a Seminole.
Just a test for me to do with week one. Because like I said, I only have one TV. I can only watch really one game at a time and give my thoughts and reactions to. So this is something I'm trying out for week one. If you're rocking with it, please let me know. Please let me know. Donate me another TV so I can I can watch two games at one time, please. but no, I'm excited for the Florida State and LSU game. Both teams came off a successful season. Florida State looked like they were back to form, being the top dogs of the ACC. With I believe they had a 10-3 record. And then LSU won the SEC at 9-3. No, they didn't win. They won the SEC West at like 9-3. So this is basically a make or break game for both teams out the gate. Because if either team wants to have that playoff success that they want or get into the playoff, they can't lose more than 2 games. So whoever loses this game has to win out. And their conferences are not easy. Well, I take that back. North Carolina, their conferences are not easy. North Carolina beat the dog shit out of South Carolina. Clemson will be Clemson. We just have to see if Florida State is ready to take back their throne of the ACC. But yeah, the SEC West is going to be nuts. Jalen Milroe looked good. Yeah, I'm ready for this season. This season is going to be hype. I will see y'all at halftime of Florida State LSU. I didn't realize my mic was muted. So I know I said that I would be back at halftime, but the game moved kind of quick. It actually started off kind of wonky and weird, and the quarterbacks were making some incredibly dumb decisions. The final score of this game was 45-17 in favor of Florida State, and I don't know whether I have more questions about LSU or I'm supremely impressed that Florida State seems to be the Florida State that I grew up watching as a kid completely dominate the ACC most years. Or not most years. Yeah, they had like a 15-year run where they won the ACC almost like every year. It was nuts. But I have so many questions regarding LSU. I'm just going to start off. First of all, they had chances to really break this thing open early, and they opted to go for it on 4th down instead of just taking the easy points. And what I mean by this is they had a couple possessions in the red zone where they did not get in and tried to go for it on 4th down and didn't get in instead of just kicking the field goal. So this game just proved that once again, week 1 is sloppy football from the coaches to the players to the referees. But another question I have is, why is the best pass rusher on LSU, Harold Perkins, playing off-ball linebacker in zone coverage? He's a much better pass rusher. Let him do his job and rush the quarterback, because on some plays, it seemed like Jordan Travis had all day to throw, and they just picked apart LSU secondary. Man, Keon Coleman from Michigan State, who transferred to Florida State, firmly planted himself as a first-round pick tonight. He can call the family. He is going to be a first-round pick. He stays relatively healthy and stacks this great game on with other games. He is a first-round pick. He is a first-round pick. I really liked what I saw from him, but this makes me question Michigan State as to what the hell they were doing last year, because they had both Keon Coleman and Jaden Reed, both who are NFL receivers, and they went like 3-9 last year. But I guess we'll see, because their quarterback Peyton Thorne is now at Auburn, to see if he was the problem. But since he transferred, I don't know if he was a problem. For whatever reason, they did not work out at Michigan State. But yeah, I was really impressed by what I saw by Florida State tonight. It makes me think that Florida State is finally back. They had some bad coaching hires after Jimbo left. They probably did not give Taggart enough time, but I guess whatever they saw within those 2 years was enough to send them packing. But Florida State seems to be back. Norvell they gave him time, they gave him patience to build that program in his vision, and it's starting to pay off. If Florida State beats Clemson and doesn't slip up against a wacky Pitt or a Wake Forest team, they take care of business all year, they are a playoff team. Now, there are factors like health, luck, no weird wacky losses for no reason, but I can see them in the playoffs. Now, what does this do for LSU? Hopefully this gets them back on the drawing board and saying we are never putting Harold Perkins in linebacker ever again, and just let him rush the passer. Offensively, they were moving the ball for the most part, but it felt like to me that Jaden Daniels, he kind of takes off without really seeing the field. And another thing is, when people were open and he did see them and gave them the ball, when they were losing momentum, when Florida State was having their run, the ball was dropped. So it was just an all-around bad showing in the second half by LSU, just flat out bad. So I believe they play Grambling next. That's a 40 to 50 point beatdown. I won't be too impressed. That's a beatdown they're supposed to do. It's the week after that. I believe it's Mississippi State. I have to look at LSU schedule, but it's the week after Grambling. I would hope to see improvement from them. But like I said, this week 1 was a fantastic showing for college football to come back. I loved it. I really enjoyed this week. I will probably update this video. Yeah, I would definitely add. So by the time you're seeing this, I will add in my thoughts for Clemson with Dabo Luther King and the Duke. They played Duke week 1. Oh man. But yeah, so I'm wondering if this same philosophy of week 1 will continue. Sloppy football, penalties galore. Quarters are going at light speed. And I just hope we get a good game. But I will update this with week 1. After Clemson and Duke. So I'll see y'all then.
3rd down and 3. Design run for Leonard, and He's able to break a tackle and get the first down and more. Leonard inside the 20, stiff arms a defender inside the...
And we are now here with the final game of week 1, Clemson and Duke, the Fighting Dabos, the program that was built in God's name, image, and likeliness, went up to Durham, North Carolina to face the Duke Blue Devils and lost 28-7. And you can even make a point that if North Carolina didn't muff up, if Duke didn't muff a punt, Clemson would not have scored at all. They got shut out. They only scored. Now, once again, this is another thing that I've been seeing. A lot of sloppy play. A lot of sloppy play and coordinators deciding to go for it on 4th down when they don't need to and actually kick field goals. Well, crazy part is that didn't happen this game. Clemson tried to kick field goals. Their new kicker got one blocked and he just straight up missed one. So if you can't trust your kicker to get the easy points and your offense is struggling without running the ball every play and you're already down, it's hard to win. This is not little old Clemson from 2018. Since 2020 really, they have not had the same explosive receiver talent. These guys are struggling to get open and they're dropping easy passes. Their offensive line has not been great. They just had generational quarterbacks. Okay, last year they tried to push everything over on DJU, and now it's clear that, hey, DJU was not the problem. There's other deeper rooted issues going on at Clemson. And when Dabo says he doesn't want to dig into the portal, get talent to infuse some more talent, you get this kind of result. Now after this game, I feel a lot better about Ohio State because we did not lose to our basketball school in the Big Ten because Indiana has not beaten Ohio State since like the 80s. Because they said Duke has not beaten a ranked opponent since like 1989. Like just something completely unbelievable. But yeah, I knew Mike Elko was a good coach because he got Duke to like 9 wins in year 1, which is already insane. Yeah, Duke better do whatever they can to keep him there. Because if they don't, another school will be calling to come get him. He's a great coach, and tonight proved that. But as impressed as I am with Duke, I have way more concerning questions going on at Clemson. Now, will Cade Klubnik play better? Yes. As the season goes on? Yes. Will they not have all these stupid fumbles and mishaps trying to hand the ball off? Yes. What concerns me still is that offensive line and that receiver group. Because we've seen Mike Williams. We've seen Nuke Hopkins. We've seen Justin Ross. We've seen some megastars receivers coming out of Clemson. And now my question is, do they have those guys? Because tonight showed me they did not have those guys. This is why you can't really sleep on conference opponents no matter who they are or how bad they've been. This is exactly why. This game showed exactly why. Because silly shit like this can happen. And I should know, I'm an Ohio State fan. Y'all understand how mad I was when we got blasted by Purdue and Iowa in back-to-back years? Y'all understand how this is like this is the quintessential equivalent example of what just happened to Clemson. Now they gotta do some soul searching and figure out what they are as a team and what they want to do as an offense, because they were running the ball pretty much at will most plays on Duke, but they were down multiple possessions, so they had to throw. Now, will their game plan going in is to be, okay, We have 2 studs at running backs. Let's feed them. Let's split them. Let's give them like 15 touches each. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Clemson, Dabo need to go pray this one off in the morning and pray to the Lord for guidance, because yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like this is just shocker, just shocking, just absolute shocking. I've missed you, college football. I missed talking about college football because I was not able to talk about all the realignment stuff because I was trying to get my life together. But man, I've missed you, college football. I've missed football. This is my favorite part of the season for me. Is when football is back and I can do just nothing all day and just watch ball. I have had a great day today. But like I said, this is just something I'm trying out for the first time. If you enjoyed this reaction, my week 1 reactions to some of the bigger games that I watched, please let me know how you feel. Let me know what games that I might have missed you want me to comment on. Let me know what games are on your radar for week 2. I'm damn sure tape. I think I have to work Texas and Bama, but you bet I am watching that game. Even if I'm late, I'm watching that game. So, but yeah, week 2 is on the horizon. I hope you all have a great day. Man, I love college football. Yeah, I'm Juju the Gamer. This is Juju Sports Score, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.